Hey, what's up? It's me, Meanie Mosey. Welcome to my channel where I talk about anime and do anime-related things. In this video, I am going to be reviewing chapters 1074 through 1087 of One Piece. This is the second video in a series in which I catch up to One Piece before the year ends because I've been reading One Piece for 3 years now and I'm not caught up, and I think it's time that I do that. So I'm going to do that. In this video, I'm going to start with a little bit of a summary. After the summary, I'm going to do an analysis. Then I'm going to have some questions afterwards of kind of just things that I'm confused about now that the story has continued to progress. And then lastly, I'm going to make some predictions over what I think is going to happen in the future. We're going to get into the summary. Summary time. I'm going to summarize these chapters as quickly as possible. Ready and go. In chapter 1074, the conflict escalates when Sentomaru releases all the pacifistas and says it's about to be Ohara up in here. Bonnie learns a bit about Kuma's story before getting ejected from his pain bubble. We learn that Vivi and Wapple are on Morgan's whip. The Straw Hats have to team up with CP0 to fight the Seraphim, and they are not enthused about it. What's going on with Egghead is officially referred to as the Egghead incident for the first time, and will result in a shock the world never saw coming. Shaka the good Vegapunk is killed by York the greed Vegapunk. I repeat, his goodness is killed by his greed. Stop. Think about it. Freak out. Oh, wait. You think about it? It's crazy. Kid fights Shanks and loses real bad. Sword is introduced. I kind of see them as vigilantes with access to Navy resources. Garp is coming to Full Lead to save Kobe. It's giving Marineford. Aokiji basically joined the Blackbeard Pirates because he was bored and salty. Law was defeated by Blackbeard and is fleeing with Beppo, or Beppo is fleeing with him. Kind of more like that ways. Buggy has declared the Cross Guild is going to go for the One Piece just like Shanks is. We finally hear more about what happened at the Reverie. Sabo is alive. The Revolutionary Army declared war on Marie's freed the slaves, burned the food supply. Cobra just rolled up and started asking the five elders all the wrong questions. What happened to Shirahoshi is exactly what the fishmen were afraid of. The empty throne is ironically not empty and is occupied by Emu, the same guy that had the dusty-looking giant straw hat earlier. The Nefertaris all have D's in their name. Who is surprised by that? Fujitora helped free the slaves. Vegapunk made an island-destroying type weapon thingy. There are Seraphim for all the warlords. Garp got stabbed in the stomach, and it's really giving Marineford now. This chunk of chapters was more spread out than the last chunk of chapters that I read, so I have a couple of sections to talk about this time instead of one long one. I'm going to go over Kid and Law's defeat, Buggy's past and his current influence, Emu and the five elders, and then Full-Lead and Marineford's similarities. If you want a Vegapunk video analysis, I got news for you. Go look at the last video that I recorded because everything that I've seen in this arc just affirms what I said in that video. If you want to know why I'm freaking out that his goodness was killed by his greed, go watch that video. Let's move on to Kid and Law's defeat. With everything that we've been through with Kid and Law, the fact that their defeats took one chapter each is shocking to me. Kid challenged Shanks after he already lost an arm. Oh, do I look like him? Why would he do that? Why would he go again? So what? You beat Big Mom. You had help. Shanks took one move and just beat you and your first mate. So I don't understand why he thought it was a good idea to go get him again. Contrast that with Law, who did not go looking for trouble, but trouble found him. And Blackbeard just got him. And so now Beppo is fleeing with Law on his back, and Law's like, we gotta go get the crew. Beppo's like, trust in the crew, they're gonna save you. I mean, they're gonna be fine. Both of their ships gone. Both of their crews gone. They both got Gecko Moriad. They both got Don Krieg. So my question is, why was it so fast? Why? And I'm not asking in a story critiquing type of way, like this was bad writing, why is it so fast, we should have had more time with him. No, I'm asking because I think there is a reason behind it, and I want to know. Like, why were they treated like they were so insignificant in a story that specializes in making you feel for the unknowns? Like, on the other hand, it could have been worse. We could have heard about this in a newspaper. We didn't even see Kid's first battle with Shanks, let alone the Rocky Port incident, which has been referred to several times over. So, on the other hand, maybe we should just be grateful. Or maybe I should be grateful that we got this much. I don't know. Maybe we're just getting them out of the way so that Luffy can fight the other emperors and not fight them, because if they were still at large, there's no doubt that Luffy would have to challenge them at some point. And I think that maybe the central conflict might be between like Luffy and Shanks, or Luffy and Blackbeard has been set up since Jaya, or since Mocktown. Maybe it's gonna be like Luffy versus Blackbeard, and then Shanks versus Buggy, and then Luffy versus Shanks. Or I think Luffy's gonna fight This is not the prediction section. Moving on. I think Buggy's character is interesting because he is unintentionally doing very well for himself. He has continuously failed upwards, and his devoted followers have elevated him to a place that he wouldn't have been able to achieve with his best efforts. Due to Croc and Hawk's business strategy and the Navy's misdirected assignment of responsibility, Buggy is now one of the 4 emperors. Buggy revealed that after seeing Shanks' potential, he had just given up. They both came up in the same way on Gold Roger's ship, and it looks like they split apart because Shanks wasn't going to look for the One Piece. And now that they're both on the same level after traveling entirely different paths, I'm trying to figure out where Buggy's motivation is coming from, because it's not like Buggy is trying to prove that he's better than Shanks, because he already knows that Shanks is better than him. If Shanks had said that he was going to look for the One Piece, would Buggy have teamed up with him to the begin with? He didn't want to work under Shanks. I don't know. Other than like pride, like I'm gonna find it and you're not. Like, maybe that's enough. Maybe that is enough. No. Buggy wanted to find the One Piece because he had the treasure map. And then Shanks stole that from him. And then Shanks was like, I'm not even interested in finding the One Piece anymore. If you have any ideas for kind of what's motivating Buggy right now, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear him, because that's one thing I'm kind of like working around and I'm not entirely sure about. Next thing is the 5 elders have this unyielding loyalty to Emu, and basically their whole job is just sitting around wondering how to keep the world as it is with the not so empty throne. And I'm particularly interested in their names because they all symbolize different planets, or if you take it a step further, Roman gods: Saturn, Mars, Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter. I looked into all of their counterparts. I'll put them all on the screen because I'm not about to list all that right now. But maybe once we see them move around more, we'll see if there's some correlation to the dominion of the Roman gods and their actions. Because right now it's looking pretty incongruent. It's too early to tell if there's any correlation right now. But I don't know. Hopefully there is. That would be cool. Or it might be the Don Quixote family names all over again and they just sounded cool, so they're named that now. Who knows, other than Oda Sensei. The last thing is, with Garp going to rescue Kobe, it's mainly reminding me of Marineford, because you have this legendary mentor who is going to rescue the up-and-coming protege. This time it is reversed because the Marines are rescuing one of their own from the pirates, and Garp, who did nothing in Marineford, who notoriously did nothing in Marineford, is leading the charge this time. With chapter 1087 just getting into it, I don't have too much about this to say so far, but I just really hope that Garp does not die here, because he just got stabbed in the stomach, and Whitebeard also got stabbed in the stomach, and I think several people got stabbed in the stomach that day too. Very hard with fists. Question time. Questions that I have about things. 1. Did Emu have anything to do with the op fruit? I I mean, oh, okay. I feel like you're sitting in the audience right now and you're being like, duh. Yes, he did. Next question. But it's kind of like, yes, I know he did. He has to have someone must have performed the immortality operation for him, and now he is immortal. Who was the previous user? They talk about previous users having influence on the devil fruits and their personalities being in them. What kind of influence does that have on Law? What's Law gonna do with the op fruit? Because the op fruit is obviously OP now. He's not just going to get defeated by Blackbeard and then just sit for the rest of the story. What's he done? Who's he gonna use it on? Is he gonna die? Because if he uses it, he's gonna die. That's more questions than I initially intended, but okay. Anyway, number 2. Who is Luffy's mother? And don't you dare say Crocodile, because he obviously did not get his humor and his silliness from his father. This man is boring, and he is just like, I don't. He's just so grim, so determined, so focused on his goals, so not Luffy at all. And I'm just wondering, is the silliness something that just Aesop and Luffy share from being raised in the jungle? Did he get it from Garp specifically? I know character traits don't get passed down like that, but like one of the first things that we saw with Ace, like when he fell asleep in the middle of eating, he was like, oh, that's Luffy's brother for sure. Like even though he's a bit more mature, we're like, that's Luffy's brother. There is no signs that this man is Luffy's father. I want to see him picking his nose. I want to see him doing something stupid. I want to see it so bad. Yeah. Oh gosh, that's going to be interesting whenever they meet. That's going to be real interesting. And then the last one is kind of like my misinterpretation, maybe possibly not necessarily a question, but something that could be answered pretty easily, I'm thinking. I don't know. But did the 5 elders turn into these like shadow emu creatures in the thing? Because like, I don't know, like sometimes when I'm reading I have a hard time like determining what's happening in action scenes. That part was a little bit confusing to me. I know it might be animated soon, but anyway, whatever. Did they? I think they turned into thingies. I think they turned into different thingies. And I don't know what power that is. But yeah, I think they're all headed to Egghead right now, which is not good, but it makes for good story. Prediction time. But I only have one prediction this time around because I am genuinely confused. I don't know what's happening next, and I love it when that happens in a story. But my one prediction, Kid and Law are going to join the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. And I know what you're thinking. They would never. Their egos are too big. With what ships? Their ships have been destroyed. With what crew? Their crews are gone. Think about it. If there is one thing that can make someone get over their ego and do something that is completely out of character, potentially join a group they would have never even considered before, join a group that they were diametrically opposed from initially, it's being salty, petty, and vengeful. And if not Kid, then Law. Law is, gotta think about it, I'm gonna say one of, to add some insurance, Law is one of the most petty people in One Piece. Well, not petty. Yes, he is petty. Law is so petty, and Law is so vengeful. He waited so long in order to avenge Corazone's death. He worked so hard to become a pirate, to become a warlord of the sea so that he could be on Doflamingo's level and attack him without repercussions from the government. But he had a plan to attack around Doflamingo so that he wouldn't even be the person to take care of Doflamingo, all just to get at Doflamingo specifically for something that he did years ago. He had a plan. It took years of thought, years of deliberation. I don't even think I used that word right. But that's discussion with other people. I did not use that word right, but it sounded good, so I'm going to leave it in. He took so long to get back at Corazon, and I think if he wants to get back at Blackbeard for hurting his crew, destroying his awesome submarine, then I think he'll do it no matter what the cost. And if allying himself with someone he's already allied with allows him to beat Blackbeard and get closer to the One Piece. I don't even think that's something he'd have to think too hard about. Beppo was probably taking him to Zou right now. The Zou people love Luffy. It would be so easy for Law to just be like, hey Luffy, let's work together again. Except he knows that Luffy's gonna jack up his plans. I think Luffy's Law's best bet at getting anywhere near the One Piece at this point, because his submarine is gone and his crew is gone and all he has is Beppo. Hopefully he doesn't get close to the One Piece and turn on Luffy like he joked about not doing in Punk Hazard or something like that. In Punk Hazard, they said you can't just form an alliance with him, he might turn on you. He's like, hey Law, are you gonna turn on me? Law's like, no. Law hasn't so far, but that was before Law lost everything except Beppo. So maybe now Law will ally himself with Luffy, and maybe he is in a position where he could turn on him after he gets closer. Would he do it? Would we hate to see it? Yep. Oh, or what if it's a situation where Luffy's in danger, the the Hito Hito no Mi Model Nika is in danger, and Joy Boy is going to disappear for another several years or something, and in order to combat Emu, Luffy needs to be immortal so we can eternally beat him. That's the situation. I don't know. I'm intrigued. Okay. Well, that prediction section, I just kind of started thinking and rambling during it. I hope that's alright. That's that for this video. If you watched to the very end of this video, then I think you're cool. And if you think I'm cool, then you should like the video and subscribe to my channel. I post a lot of anime-related content, mainly about One Piece. Not even gonna lie. But if you like that, then subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so that you know whenever I post. It's been sporadic, trying for it to not be that way, but it is what it is. And so, I will catch you guys next time when I cover chapters 1088 through 1101. And y'all have a good morning, afternoon, evening, or ungodly hour.